The Social Security Administration provides financial support through programs such as Supplemental Security Income, SSI, and Social Security Disability Insurance, SSDI. These programs were designed to offer stability and security to some of the most vulnerable populations in the United States, including retirees who have spent their lives working, individuals who are unable to work due to disabilities, and those with limited financial resources who need help meeting basic living expenses. Payments from these programs are delivered on a regular and predictable schedule to ensure beneficiaries can rely on them as a steady source of income. For many households, Social Security benefits represent the cornerstone of their financial planning, and the predictability of these payments is critical for day-to-day stability. SI and SSDI differ in how they are structured and who they serve, but both play an essential role. SSI is a needs-based program funded through general tax revenues rather than payroll taxes, and it is designed for individuals with little to no income and limited resources. Unlike retirement benefits or SSDI, SSI eligibility does not depend on prior work history, but instead on financial need. On the other hand, SSDI is funded through payroll taxes under the Federal Insurance Contributions Act, FICA, and is earned by workers who have contributed to Social Security through their employment. To qualify for SSDI, an individual must have worked long enough and recently enough to accumulate sufficient work credits in addition to having a qualifying disability. The distinction between these two programs often causes confusion, but both share the common goal of providing vital support to people who cannot fully support themselves through employment or other means. Payments under SSI and SSDI are typically issued monthly, either by direct deposit to a bank account or onto a government-issued direct express debit card. This regularity makes them reliable for beneficiaries who use these payments to cover essential expenses like rent, utilities, groceries, and medical costs. The exact amount varies. SSI has a federal maximum rate, while SSDI amounts depend on a person's past earnings and contributions to Social Security. This system ensures that benefits are somewhat tailored to individual circumstances, though many recipients still face challenges making ends meet on limited fixed incomes. Social Security benefits can change over time, but adjustments do not happen in the form of sudden, large lump sum deposits. Instead, the most common type of increase comes from the annual cost of living adjustment, known as COLA. COLA exists to help benefits keep pace with inflation, ensuring that the purchasing power of monthly checks is not eroded as prices rise. The formula for COLA is tied to the Consumer Price Index for urban wage earners and clerical workers, CPIW, which tracks the price changes of goods and services commonly purchased by working households. Each fall, the SSA reviews the CPIW data to determine whether an adjustment is necessary for the upcoming year. If inflation has increased, benefits are raised accordingly, with changes taking effect in January. The most recent COLA for 2024 was 3.2%, which raised monthly payments by an average of about $50. While this increase helped beneficiaries offset some of the rising costs of food, housing, and healthcare, it was relatively modest compared to the inflationary spikes seen in the prior 2 years. The 2022 COLA, for example, was 5.9%, and in 2023 it was 8.7%, the largest increase in over 4 decades. These larger adjustments reflected the unusually high inflation that followed the COVID-19 pandemic, which sharply increased the cost of living across the country. While COLA increases are welcomed by recipients, they are designed to preserve buying power, not provide windfalls or bonus checks. Understanding that COLAs are percentage-based, rather than flat lump sums, helps beneficiaries set realistic expectations about their benefits. In 2024, the maximum federal SSI payment was set at $943 per month for individuals and $1,415 for couples. However, some states add supplemental payments, which can raise these amounts slightly depending on where a person lives. SSDI benefits, by contrast, vary more widely because they are based on an individual's lifetime average earnings before disability. The SSA uses a formula to calculate a person's primary insurance amount, PIA, and the actual monthly benefit is drawn from this calculation. In 2024, the average monthly SSDI benefit was around $1,537, though some individuals with higher past earnings received substantially more. Despite these variations, both SSI and SSDI follow the same principle. Payments are structured, predictable, and issued on a monthly basis. Neither program provides sudden, large, one-time payments outside of established, authorized processes. Any significant change to Social Security benefits beyond COLA requires congressional action. For example, when stimulus checks were issued during the COVID-19 pandemic, they were authorized through specific legislation passed by Congress and signed by the President. These payments were distinct from Social Security benefits, but were distributed to many beneficiaries through the same channels, such as direct deposit. This overlap sometimes fuels confusion, as people associate stimulus checks with Social Security programs, even though they are separate. In reality, unless new legislation is enacted, the SSA does not issue bonus payments, one-time deposits, or surprise financial rewards. The structure of the program is rooted in law and cannot be altered without federal approval. Because so many Americans depend on SSI and SSDI, misinformation and scams are, unfortunately, common. The funding for Social Security primarily comes from payroll taxes paid by workers and employers. Under the Federal Insurance Contributions Act, employees and employers each contribute 6.2% of wages up to a certain limit, while self-employed individuals pay both shares for a total of 12.4%. These contributions go into the Social Security trust funds, which are used to pay current benefits. SSI, however, is funded through general federal revenues rather than payroll taxes. This distinction underscores that while SSDI and retirement benefits are earned through work contributions, SSI is more akin to a needs-based safety net. Understanding these funding mechanisms can help recipients and the general public better appreciate how the system is sustained. Financial planning for beneficiaries often requires balancing fixed monthly benefits with fluctuating expenses. Since Social Security payments are unlikely to cover all living costs, especially in high-cost areas, recipients often supplement their income with savings, part-time work, if eligible, or other forms of assistance. Recognizing that Social Security is meant to provide a foundation rather than a complete solution helps people manage expectations. At the same time, policymakers continually debate reforms to ensure the program remains solvent for future generations. Discussions about raising payroll tax caps, adjusting eligibility ages, or altering benefit formulas surface regularly, though actual changes require significant political agreement. Disclaimer: this script is provided for informational and educational purposes only. It summarizes how Supplemental Security Income, SSI, and Social Security Disability Insurance, SSDI, generally work based on information available from the Social Security Administration, SSA. It does not announce or confirm any new or special payments such as one-time SSA, 3D $200 deposits, as no such program has been authorized by the SSA. Benefit amounts, payment schedules, and adjustments such as the cost of living increase, COLA, are determined by law and official SSA processes. For the most accurate and up-to-date information about benefits, eligibility, or payment changes, individuals should always refer directly to the SSA's official website at www.ssa.gov or contact the SSA through official communication channels. This content should not be interpreted as financial,